I've done a walk, a bouncing ball, and a jump. But now it's time to animate a run cycle in 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, and 10 hours. Let's begin. That's a dumb transition. I'm quite inexperienced with run cycles. I've done one in 3D. I don't know that I have done one in 2D. Not gonna lie, I practiced a 2-frame run cycle just before. I'm gonna see if I can do that in 10 seconds. A convincing 2-frame run cycle. Okay, 10 seconds starting now. Head, do some of that. Next frame. There, that, oh my god. Okay, that will do, maybe. We'll just make that like 4 FPS, maybe 6. Wow, not bad. I think there's something to it. It does read as run to me, but I do know what it's supposed to be. And I am the one who made it. I think I made the poses nice and distinct, so that's cool. Pretty good. Let's move on to the 1 minute run cycle. Okay, we're gonna try to do a run cycle in a minute. I'm not so sure I can do that very well, but we're gonna see what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. Start the head down here, do a little something like that, and then same first pose as the last one. Then he's coming up a little bit. Wait, we go like that. Now we got the apex of the run. Oh man, I do not like this. I can do an in-between. Oh my god. Let's have a look. Oh man. The last drawing I did didn't help at all. It made it worse. I mean, I guess it's better than the 10-second one. Maybe? See what it looks like without the last frame. I guess it looks like a run, so that's mission accomplished. This 10 minutes is going to feel fast, I think. And go. There's a little body. I don't want to do hands. There's just no need. No need for it. Feet could be useful. Is this a good first frame? Maybe. I want more lean. Probably more leg height. Let's just move on from that. I haven't learned my lesson from blue onion skin on blue. Okay, that is a frame. Alright, the legs are going to cross over now, which is a key factor. Okay, I have the legs cross over. He's not leaning enough. This arm is like invisible. Not a big fan of that frame, but I'll take it. I should draw arms on this one, as with every frame. Okay, next, full extension of the back leg. That's what I always say. This needs more of a lift. 4 minutes left. I'd rather have more than that. Fully in the air. The arms can just be like going wild. Okay, I've got a couple minutes left. Should probably draw something between these two. Although, maybe not. Oh, I need to switch the front arm to the back arm. And the legs. Oh god, what am I doing? Okay, I just have an arm coming down here like this. Some scribbles, that'll work. That'll do. Okay, 30 seconds. I can do a face. This is how it always goes. I don't know if I can. I've got 19 seconds. 8 seconds? Okay, I can do this. Done. Oh man. Wonder what that face looks like in motion. I mean, hey, that's an upgrade. It's a little snappy. The step down is a bit jarring, but I don't think an in-between would have been better. I think it looks more like a run than the other two. Simply a scuffed run cycle, which par for the course for a 10-minute animation. So let's see what I can do with a 1-hour run cycle. For my 1-hour run cycle, I started by sketching the key positions with a different color for the back limbs so it's easier to follow. After that looked good, I drew the in-betweens to make it nice and smooth. A monotonous but necessary process. Now I have half a run cycle, so I'm duplicating all of those frames and editing them so that the front and back limbs switch places. And with that, we have a pretty decent looking run cycle. Now I'm going to draw the line art. And since I don't have a lot of time, it's the return of the Marshmallow Man. You may remember him from The Jump. A pretty straightforward step. Then I finally colored this dude in. Pale blue, just like the 1 hour jump animation. Now all that's left is a background. I quickly threw down some grass and a sky and had 2 layers of copy-pasted trees moving at different speeds. One in the background, one in the foreground. And here is my 1 hour run animation. Much like previous iterations, it's pretty simple, but it looks alright. This is the first time I've had a moving environment for the 1 hour animation, so that's cool. The run doesn't look too bad, but if you hyperfixate on the hands, you can see that they're pretty choppy on the height of each swing. I guess overall I'd like it to look a bit more energetic, but solid 1 hour run. Let's move on to the 10 hour animation. I actually designed the character first for once. It seems like a bit of a mix between Crash Bandicoot and a lizard. So I took that and animated the keyframes much like the 1 hour animation. Then it was the same thing of animating the in-betweens and duplicating the frames and switching the limbs. So after about 2 hours, I had a functioning run cycle and I got started on the rough line art. I was also animating the face by having the mouth open and close and the eyeballs squash and stretch, kind of cartoonishly. Then I moved on to the hair and tried to make it flip back and forth at least a little convincingly. So when I was happy with the whole animation, I got to work on the final line art. I find it easier to do those 3 passes of animating because I can work out the major motion, then get more detailed without worrying about how clean the lines are, and basically trace that. So that took a good 75 minutes. For colouring, since I didn't want it to look too much like Crash Bandicoot, I avoided orange and initially made him blue with purple pants and hair. He also needed to stand out from the background somewhat. Next up was adding a bunch of layers of ground and trees and bushes and hills. I experimented with different skies, but settled on an orange sunset for a while, which isn't going to stay. Someone pointed out that Adobe Animate has a 3D camera, but that won't be useful here because most of these sections are short loops. So I had all these layers moving at different speeds, giving the illusion of depth and infinite motion. You can see I decided to have a midday blue sky and change the skin/fur to a pinkish shade. And I made this dark purple hole-filled shape with a mask as a shadow on the character. I'm going to animate that later. Gotta have some eyebrows, of course, and right now I'm just adding details and working on the environment. I'm going to replace some of the middle layers with Photoshop drawings. The rest will be out of focus, so it would be pointless or even bad looking to make those detailed. So here's me working on the midground art in Photoshop. I'm going to add those in as 4 separate layers at different depths and blur them just a little. Now I'm adding details to the character and adjusting things as I see fit. Also adding some more things in the background. And after a whole lot of tinkering, I exported the whole thing, did some color grading, and called it a day. So this is what a 10-hour animation of a run cycle looks like. To be honest, I'm quite chuffed with how this turned out. There are some flaws that I could point out, and will, but in general, I think it looks pretty good. The legs in particular are quite smooth. Like if you watch the shoes, I don't notice any choppiness or gigantic proportion shifting. Now the head does jump forward quite suddenly, maybe that ruined it for you if you haven't noticed. It was a bit hard to fix after already lining and coloring it. But it was more extreme before and I fixed it a little bit. The blue wristband thing was quite last minute. It could definitely be a bit smoother and maybe a bit more realistic physics-wise, but it's alright. But anyway, I think the colors and the background and the general sense of movement all turned out pretty good. I like it. Well, that was animating a run in 10 seconds versus 10 hours. Hope you enjoyed watching, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.